this is Professor Danish Ikhlas Abbasi, and in this video we are going to have an introduction to phonetics. Now, before we begin the introduction of phonetics, let me ask you a question, that which is the strongest muscle in our body? Please answer in the comment section. The strongest muscle in human body is our tongue. We use it to manipulate and produce different sounds. Now let's move on to our topic, that is phonetics. First of all, what is phonetics? Now, phonetics is the study of the sounds of language. There are literally hundreds of them used in different languages. Now, first of all, look at the first sentence in the first point, that phonetics studies the sounds of language. There are many sounds produced around us, just like the sound of a car horn, a plane passing by, or the sound of an engine starting. But these sounds are not included in language. They are not the part of any language. So the sounds which are the part of any language, they are meaningful and they carry messages. And phonetics studies only these sounds which are the part of any language. There are literally hundreds of sounds found in all the languages around the world, and any language around the world that chooses a set of sounds from these hundreds of sounds, and these set of sound are used to produce meaningful words and sentences and long speeches as well. Now look at the second point, that phonetics has been derived from the word phone, and phone means sound or voice, and it is the branch of linguistics that comprises of the study of sounds of human speech. So it discusses the sounds of human speech, those sounds which are involved in the speech of human beings. Now look at the third point. This is a definition by a writer, Avery Aldrich. He says that the study of how sounds are produced and how the position of the mouth can be changed to produce different sounds. Now, how sounds are produced, and what is the mechanism behind the production of these speech sounds, and how the position of mouth can be changed to produce different sounds, that how do we use our mouth and other articulatory organs to produce the sounds. All this is studied in phonetics. Now let's look at the next point, that Mies Collins says that phonetics is the science of speech sounds, the study of sounds in human language. Again, the same thing, that it studies the speech sounds, the sounds which are produced by human beings for clear and meaningful messages, and the study of sounds of human language is called phonetics. Now let's look at the next point, that is a definition by Kelly. It says that it is the study of speech sounds. Again, the same thing which we had discussed earlier. It is a wide-ranging field, and it does not necessarily have a direct connection with the study of language itself. It means that phonetics is a general study of the sounds. We do not discuss sounds with reference to any particular language. The sounds which are discussed in phonetics, they can belong to any language of the world. Just like we discuss the sound p or b, we do not discuss this sound with reference to any language. That means we are not concerned with the meaning of the sound, with the function of the sound. We are just concerned how this sound is produced, and we are not discussing it with reference to any particular language. The last sentence in the second point says that it deals with the physical reality of speech sounds. Now, when the sound is produced, it takes a physical form, it takes a real form. This physical real form is discussed and studied in phonetics. There is a philosophical or a semantic or a syntactic view of sound as well. All these philosophical, semantic, or syntactic views of sounds are not discussed in phonetics. Phonetics only deals with the physical reality of the sounds, that how sound takes a physical form, how it is produced, how it is transmitted, how it is recepted by a listener. Only the physical part of these sounds is discussed in phonetics. Now let's look at next point, that phonetics is concerned with the physical properties of speech sounds. The speech sounds, that is phones, that the physical properties of speech sounds. Again, we are not concerned with philosophical, semantic, or syntactical aspect of speech sounds. We are only dealing with the physical properties of speech sounds, and then their physiological production, how articulatory organs come together to produce different sounds, their acoustic properties, just like their pitch, their quality, the wavelength, and these kind of properties, and the auditory perception, how a listener uses his ear and the parts of ear, just like outer ear, inner ear, middle ear, and his optic nerve to receive the sounds, and the neurophysiological status, that how neurologically we receive the messages through our ear, and how these messages are passed on to brain. We are just concerned with the physical form of this sound, that how sound is produced, how it is transmitted, and how it is received by the listener. So we can say that phonetics is the general study of human sounds that is concerned with the physical reality of speech sounds and the neurophysiological reception of sounds and the acoustic properties of sounds. It is not concerned with the semantic, syntactic, or psychological viewpoint of the sounds. It is concerned only with the general view of human speech sounds. Now, just like all other branches of knowledge, phonetics is also divided into different branches. The first branch is articulatory phonetics, the second is acoustic phonetics, and the third is auditory phonetics. Now, first of all, we'll discuss articulatory phonetics. Articulatory phonetics is concerned with the articulation of speech, with the production of speech, how sounds are produced, just like the position, shape, and movement of articulators or speech organs. What is the position of our tongue in production of a certain sound? What is the shape of our lips in production of a certain sound? How we move our jaws, or how we roll our tongue in production of different sounds. And these speech organs are such as lips, tongue, and vocal fold, etc. Articulatory phonetics studies the vocal organs and how they produce speech sounds. So, articulatory phonetics is the part of phonetics that is concerned with the production of sounds, how articulatory organs work together to produce different sounds. After articulatory phonetics comes the acoustic phonetics. Acoustic phonetics is concerned with the acoustics of speech. That means the physical properties of human speech, that the spectrotemporal, that means frequency versus time properties of the sound waves produced by speech, that the sound waves which are produced by human speech, what are the properties of these sound waves, and the properties which we look at are such as their frequency, amplitude, oscillation, intensity, quality, and pitch of the sound which is produced by human beings. Now, how sound is produced? Sound is basically uh, a kind of energy, and it is a pressure wave consisting of vibration of molecules in a medium. This medium can be a gas, a liquid, or a solid. And in our human being's case, the medium is air. The air particles are disturbed through the movements and vibration of the vocal organs, especially the vocal folds. This process continues as a chain reaction for as long as the energy lasts. That when we push the air out of the windpipe with the help of our lungs, the vocal cords which are present in our throat, they vibrate, and this vibration uh, creates a pattern of pressure wave that moves through air, and until and unless we stop speaking, or the air in our lungs is emptied, we can continuously produce a sound. So the study of the transmission of this sound, that as long as the sound leaves the lips of the speaker and how it travels through air to reach the ear of the listener, all these properties from the lips of the speaker to the ears of the listener are studied under acoustic phonetics. After acoustic phonetics comes the auditory phonetics. Auditory phonetics is concerned with the speech perception, how sound is perceived by the listener, the perception, categorization, and recognition of speech sounds, and the role of the auditory system and the brain in the same. That we listen different sounds, the sound of a cracker, the sound of an airplane passing by, and the sound of a person speaking just in front of us. And then how do we differentiate between all these sounds, and how do we respond to the sounds produced by a person in front of us? All this is because we receive the sounds and then we categorize those sounds, recognize the speech sounds, separate them from other noises, and then we understand those messages. The physical aspect, how our ear works, how our auditory nerve plays its role, and how this message is passed on to the brain, is studied under the heading of auditory phonetics. So, uh, you have seen that phonetics has three branches: articulatory phonetics, acoustic phonetics, and auditory phonetics. Articulatory phonetics is concerned with the production of sound. Acoustic phonetics is concerned with the transmission of sound, and auditory phonetics is concerned with the reception of the sound. And phonetics is the study of the sounds in general. It studies how sounds are produced, how they are transmitted, and how they are received by a listener. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video, and please don't forget to subscribe and share this video with others.